So we've seen 4 college football playoff games. Penn State and Ohio State kind of ran over opponents.
Yeah.
You heard a lot of grief given to Indiana. Upon further review, that was pretty close. It's intriguing. They have to do some tweaks. I still can't, for the life of me, figure out how you think Boise State and Arizona State should have byes. But maybe I'm nitpicking at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we got to remember this is our first time going through this. And so there are some things you can't learn until you see how it plays out. Because had Kevin Jennings not thrown a couple pick sixes early and executed a fourth down play where the guy was open in the end zone and Kirk Signetti not kind of tucked his tail early in that game, we're talking about a different weekend, right? I don't think anyone's talking about blowouts. There's just one or two plays that happened that created an environment where you ended up with three blowouts in another game that probably should have been closer than it was with Texas and Clemson. But it's first run through it, and they'll tweak some things. Probably going forward, you need to put yourself in a position like how the NFL does. Is if you're gonna give conference champs a bye, which I don't think was a crazy idea. That hey, you were the best team in your conference this year, you deserve a round off. I don't think that's a bad idea. I also think there's a good idea to reseeding, right? I don't think, okay, if you don't want to give the buys, maybe you just pick the 12 and then you rank them based off of how think you good those 12 teams are. There's a lot of different things you can do, but I don't think it's because there were blowouts. There have always been blowouts. 19 of the 30 games from the 4-team college football era were decided by 17 or more points. And that includes 7 of the 10 national championships. Blowouts happen in football. But I do think there are some tweaks that need to be made simply because Oregon's reward for being the best team all year shouldn't be having to play Ohio State as their first college football playoff game. That's where you got to maybe fix some things around here because Oregon deserves the easiest path because they earned the easiest path because they're the only undefeated team in college football. So there's tweaks to be made. But I thought for a first run through, it looked pretty good and it allowed everybody to, validate whatever narratives they already came into the weekend thinking.